Hi. Alright, Kat. So I'm sorry again, I completely spaced it. Miscommunication in regards to your video. So I'm very sorry. So let's get things started. So first thing, as you notice, I don't have a guitar with me. We'll get to it in a second. What I really want you to start focusing on, start thinking as playing guitar as almost doing exercise. Because if you think about it, you're playing, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of muscles moving, there's a lot of tendons moving. So one thing that's very important to do is to start stretching right before you play guitar. A lot of the professional players recommend this. Actually, a lot of amateur players don't do this. They feel like, I'm just gonna get a guitar and rock out. And later, as they keep playing or we keep getting older, our bones don't function the same. We don't function the same. So you're at risk of many injuries. Anything from arthritis, carpal tunnel, so many different things. So the first exercise I would like for you to do, stretch, will be just like you're stretching your legs, stretch your hands, your arms, everything. One that I like to do, you extend your hand, you grab from under, and you pull. So you're going to pull this, and when you're pulling this, you're going to stretch this muscle. This muscle is linked to all your fingers. So if this is not relaxed, you start getting tense, you're just going to get a lot of tension, and that's not good. So here, kind of go under, then you stretch. Don't stretch too much, or don't pull too much, because you could also get injured with that. So just a nice little stretch where you start feeling it, and then you switch. Same thing. Feels good? Good. So now, always kind of shake it off a little. Don't go too hard, just shake it off. The next one, simple. You just pull, and that's going to stretch this. So, maybe make a 10 to 20 second count. You change again. When you're after this, what I would recommend you start massaging. Massage really fast. Get all that blood flow. Start massaging your fingers, your pinky, ring finger, middle finger, so on and so forth, both hands. A little bit of this too. This one don't do too much because you could injure yourself. So just nice little stretch. Okay. So now we're ready to go. Let's go to the next video. So hey, Kat. Now we finally have a guitar. Finally, yay! Okay, for this one thing we're going to work on is knowing the strings first. Each string has a different name. And we're not going to get too big into theory. There's a lot to it, but I do recommend all my students to learn some theory. So we'll go over at least the basics, and as we progress, we'll keep moving on. So the first string is going to call, it's called an E. So this is an E. Your next string is going to be a B. The next string is a G. That's your third string. The fourth string, going from down up, it's called a D. The fifth string is called an A. And the last string, which is the lowest string, is called a low E. So you already heard me say an E already, and that's because this string and this string are the same, except it's one octave higher. So what I mean by one octave, in music, there's in order to get from one note to the same note, which is going to be from a low to a high, you're probably looking at maybe 8 notes. Since octave, 8, octave. So what that means, it's that in the musical alphabet, there's 8 notes. And in the musical alphabet, it's almost like the regular alphabet. Instead of having 26 letters, we only have 7 or 8 counting that octave. What I mean by that is that we go from the first note in the alphabet, the musical alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Remember, what's after, what would we say the octave? Which means it's the same note, just one octave higher. A. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. There's no I, there's no K, there's no L, just A through G. Okay? And there's obviously later we'll go over more of those notes, just a bunch of notes in between. But at the moment it doesn't matter. So, finally, we get to play. So what we're going to play, I'm going to teach you 2 chords. These are just the basics of the chords. Later we'll get into more complex chords. But for these, all it requires is 1 finger. Okay? The first chord I'm going to teach you is that G chord. The G chord, the regular G chord looks like this. So, you know, you see it a lot. You see that finger in a lot of the songs that people play. So, what I want you to do is when you play these chords, you're not going to play with this part, or you're not going to press the frets. These are called frets. You're not going to press the strings with this. You want to ride on that tip, okay? So, before we get to that chord, maybe if you want to just practice, kind of like, you know, just kind of practice that. Just getting that feel. Remember, you just want enough of a touch. You don't want to press too much, because when you press too much, it's going to hurt your fingers, and then you just create unnecessary tension right here, because your body's thinking, your mind's thinking, I got to press hard. That's not what you want. What you just want is just press lightly. And what I want you to do for this G chord, it's the G is considered on that dot. There's dots on your guitar. That first dot, or the 3rd fret, remember, open is 0. That's 1st fret. This is 2nd fret. This is 3rd fret. And we're playing in between the little metal things. So that 3rd one, that's what you want to press. You might get this. If you're getting that, that just means you try to play press a little bit harder. But remember, not too much. So let's see that. There we go. Okay? So, now, let's go on to this G chord. For now, you can use any finger you want. I'd recommend you to use your ring finger, because eventually that's the finger you're going to be using for the complete chord, which is this, G. So here, what we do, just strum. This hand, when you strum, you don't need a pick. You could actually just use your hand. You could just plug, whatever feels comfortable. If you have a pick, the pick you hold it, the way people hold it differently. So whatever works for you, use that. Myself, I like to hold like this. I don't know if you can see that. It'll make more sense when we meet. So just hold it however you can and press that. And don't worry about playing the low strings. You're just going to play, remember our strings, E, B, G, and just throw a D. So all we do is just that. Once again. And you have the G chord. Okay? Now that you have that chord, as you practice, you can just keep messing with like whatever feels natural. The last chord I'm going to teach you, it's called an E minor. And don't worry about the A minor, major, we'll go over that later. It makes more sense when we sit down and actually write these things down. So for that E, remember, our strings, E, B, G, D, A, low E. That one, we're going to use our first finger, our index finger. And that's going to go on the D string, which is, remember, our 4th, E, B, G, D, on the 2nd fret. So we're on the D, and on that D we go, D is 0, that's 1, and that's 2. So there, we have a chord. And from there, just see your finger. Remember, same thing, if you get that pluck, you just gotta press a little bit harder. And here, try to avoid not creating that tension. What you want is kind of like, think about as you having a tennis ball in your hand. Very relaxed. You don't grab a tennis ball and just, hold it all hard. You just kind of have it, you just grab it, you just toss it. So just kind of over here in the back, that's what it looks. Your finger, a lot of people do this. A lot of people have it on the back. Whatever feels normal to you, that's not going to create that tension. We don't want tension ever, okay? So we're there, and then we just, same thing as the other one, just kind of go down. And same thing as the G chord, you can start messing with your rhythm. Okay. Final thing. You're like, wow, well that sounds pretty, but now what? You could actually make a song out of that. Remember, we're only using our index finger and our ring finger. And don't worry about how fast you change. Right now, we'll worry about rhythm later. But just kind of mess with this. So if you're going like this, that's a G. Start thinking that E is going to come. Now we're going back to that G. Okay. Well, Kat, once again, I'm very sorry. I hope you have fun with this video. I look forward to seeing you. If you have any questions, shoot me a text, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help you. And once again, keep rocking on. Enjoy.